After which things, in such truth, Sennacherib, the king of Assyrians, came and entered into Judah. And he besieged strong cities, and would take those. And when Hezekiah had heard this thing, that is, that Sennacherib had come, and that all the fierceness of his battle was turned against Jerusalem, he took counsel with princes and with most strong men, that they should stop the heads of wells which were without the city. And when the sentence of all men deemed this profitable, he gathered together a full great multitude of men, and they stopped up all the wells and the river that flowed in the midst of the land, and said, Lest the kings of Assyrians come and find abundance of waters. Also Hezekiah did wittingly. He builded all the wall that was destroyed, and he builded towers on the wall, and another wall without forth. And he repaired Millo in the city of David, and made armor of arms of all kind, and shields. And he ordained princes of warriors in the host. And he called together all men in the street of the gate of the city, and spake to the hearts of them, and said, Do ye manly, be ye comforted, do not ye dread, neither be ye afeared of the king of Assyrians, nor of all the multitude that is with him. For many more be with us than with him. A fleshly arm is with him, and the Lord our God is with us, which is our helper, and shall fight for us. And the people was comforted with such words of Hezekiah, king of Judah. And after that these things were done, Sennacherib sent his servants to Jerusalem, for he himself, with all the host, besieged Lachish. He sent to Hezekiah, king of Judah, and to all the people that was in the city of Jerusalem, and said, Sennacherib, king of Assyrians, saith these things, in whom have ye trust, and sit besieged in Jerusalem? Whether not Hezekiah deceived you, that ye betake to you to death and hunger and thirst, and he affirmeth that the Lord your God shall deliver you from the hand of the king of Assyrians? Whether this is not Hezekiah, that destroyed high places and altars of him, and commanded to Judah and Jerusalem, and said, Ye shall worship before one altar, and therein ye shall burn incense? Whether ye know not what things I have done, and my fathers, to all the peoples of lands, whether the gods of folks and of all lands might deliver their country from mine hand? Who is, of all the gods of folks, which my fathers destroyed, that might deliver his people from mine hand, that also your God may deliver you from mine hand? Therefore Hezekiah deceived not you, neither scorn he you by vain counseling, neither believe ye to him. For if no God of all folks and countries might deliver his people from mine hand, from the hand of my fathers, pursuingly, neither your God shall be able to deliver you from this mine hand. But also his servants spake many other things against the Lord God, and against Hezekiah his servant. And he wrote epistles full of blasphemy against the Lord God of Israel. And he spake against God, and said, As the God of other folks might not deliver their people from mine hand, so the God of Hezekiah may not deliver his people from mine hand. Furthermore, and with great cry in the language of Jews, he sounded against the people that sat on the walls of Jerusalem, to make them afeared, and to take the city. And he spake against God of Israel, as against the gods of the peoples of earth, the works of men's hands. Therefore Hezekiah the king, and Isaiah the prophet, son of Amoz, prayed against this blasphemy, and cried to into heaven. And the Lord sent his angel, the which killed each strong man and warrior, and the prince of the host of the king of Assyrians. And he, Sennacherib, turned again with shame to his land. When he had entered into the house of his God, the sons which went out of his womb killed him there with sword. And the Lord saved Hezekiah and the dwellers of Jerusalem from the hand of Sennacherib, king of Assyrians, and from the hand of all men, and he gave to them rest by compass. Also, many men brought offerings and sacrifices to the Lord into Jerusalem, and gifts to Hezekiah, king of Judah, which was enhanced after these things before all folks. In those days Hezekiah was sick unto death, and he prayed the Lord, and he heard him, and gave to him a sign. But he yielded not thankings to the Lord after the benefits which he had taken, for his heart was raised into pride, and wrath of the Lord was made against him, and against Judah, and against Jerusalem. And he was meek afterward, for that his heart was raised, both he was meek and the dwellers of Jerusalem. And therefore the wrath of the Lord came not upon them in the days of Hezekiah. And Hezekiah was rich and full noble, and he gathered to himself full many treasures of silver, and of gold, and of precious stones, and of sweet-smelling spices, and of armors of all kinds, and of vessels of great price. Also he builded large houses of wheat, of wine, and of oil, and cratches of all beasts, and folds to sheep. And he builded 6 cities, and he had innumerable flocks of sheep, and great beasts. For the Lord had given to him full much chattel. That is, Hezekiah, that stopped the higher well of the waters of Gihon, and he turned those away under the earth at the west side of the city of David. In all his works he did by prosperity, whatever thing he would do. Nevertheless, in the message of the princes of Babylon that was sent to him for to ask of the great wonder that befell on the land, God forsook him, that he were assayed, and that all things were known that were in his heart. Sithly, the residue of the words of Hezekiah and of his mercies be written in the prophecy of Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz, and in the book of the kings of Judah and of Israel. And Hezekiah slept with his fathers, and they buried him above the sepulchres of the sons of David. And all Judah and all the dwellers of Jerusalem made solemn the services of his burying, and Manasseh his son reigned for him.